Hi, I'm Brian Fallon from the Gaslight Anthem, and I have fan-submitted questions from visions.de, and I'm going to read them and answer them now. The first one is, you're well known for telling jokes on stage during your Gaslight Anthem shows. Which joke is your favorite one? Well, the joke is that they're not jokes. It's just me talking to fill up space between tuning, usually. And usually, most of them come out of nervous banter. Like when you're talking in front of a group of people, some people get nervous, and that is me. So it's my attempt at passing the time through the show without having just dead silence. But also, I have thought sometimes that I should probably have more jokes written down beforehand, and I don't, and that's why some of them are stinkers, and you end up with your vans in your mouth. So sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not so funny. But I'm trying to get better at it. So we'll see. The next question is, which band would you support live as a support act without being paid for it? There's quite a few bands that I would do that with. Bright Eyes would be one. The Replacements would be one. I would probably charge Bruce now. But maybe Tom Petty I might do for free. Tom Waits I would do for free. There's quite a few bands actually. I think that even if some older bands got together, there's a band that my friend Tim Barry used to play in called Avail, that if they ever wanted us to play with them, I would play with them for free, for sure. So those are a couple that I would do for free. The next question is, which band or song was the first that made you want to grab a guitar and start playing music? I mean, when I was a real little kid, it was probably different, but when I actually decided to play the guitar, probably would have been very early, in my 11 or 12, so it would have been probably 91, Nirvana, or the Replacements, or the Ramones. Those are or the Clash. Those are the earliest bands that I heard, and Rancid too. Rancid was another big one. Those are the bands that actually made me think that I could play in a band. Because later on, other things came. And then after that, another question, number 4 is, I love the acoustic versions of your songs. Have you ever thought about releasing a whole album with these acoustic versions, or go on an acoustic tour? Yes, I have. I've thought about it before in the past, doing an acoustic record, but I never had time, really. The one time I thought about doing it about a year and a half ago, schedule-wise, it didn't really work, and I didn't feel like I was ready to do that. I wanted to do the next Gaslight record, which turned into Get Hurt. But I think that soon I will probably do an acoustic record, or acoustic-based record. It will still have instruments on it and drums and things, but it would be more in that vein of that sort of music. I've never thought about recording a whole album of Gaslight songs acoustic, though. But we do that live a couple times when we play in stores, or if we do, like some sort of session, we do. And the last question is, hey Brian, are there any chances that you will, about the acoustic tour, I did go on the Revival tour with Chuck Reagan though, a couple years ago, and that I think is a brilliant tour, which is acoustic, that Chuck has artists that he admires come out with him and play. So I think that's a great tour that I was a part of, so there was an acoustic tour. The last question is, hey Brian, are there any chances that you will record a punk album together with Frank Turner in the future? And then, I should answer that first. I mean, I would, why not? Like, I like Frank, I think Frank's cool, and Frank writes good songs. And if he wanted to do, I think that's interesting, if Frank said to me, like, we're gonna write like a real punk record, like a real one, not like, not like pop punk or anything like that. Like, we're gonna get down and write like old school punk rock songs, I would be like, yeah, all right, like let's do this. Like that'd be fun. But I probably would let him name the band. I think Frank might come up with a better name than I would. And then the second half of this question is, what about your other side projects like Molly and the Zombies and the Horrible Crows? Any plans for them with an album? I think that what I would like to do is take, if I ever do anything with them again, I would probably do them all together under my own name. And the reason for that is because it's hard to tell sometimes if you're going on tour and people want to go see certain songs. It's like, do the Horrible Crows play Molly and Zombie songs? Does Molly and Zombie play Horrible Crows songs? And I think that it's a little bit confusing and also limiting, because I would rather have it, if it was under my own name, just Brian Fallon, I could do anything that I've done. I could do solo songs or Horrible Crows songs or Molly and the Zombie songs, all in one place, and it means you don't have to take all these bands on tour at different times, and you can give people more songs for one ticket instead of making them buy all these albums and all these tickets. You can just have one thing that you put out and you do everything, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So that's probably what I would do in the future with those things. But thank you for your questions, and you should probably have some of these people hired, because they're better than some of the questions that I've gotten with some interviews in the past, not with you guys, but with other people. I'm going to send this to people in New York.